Hey gang, this video is a bit that I have pulled out of a recent video I posted in which I went through the entire Marvel Comics solicitation catalog for November 2020. Yeah, and predicted, what items I thought will be awesome, which ones I'm pretty sure are going to suck. But that video is an hour long, and I understand that most of you aren't going to want to sit through an hour long YouTube video. And I get that there are, some of you who just can't stand an hour of me. But so I pulled out this bit about Eternals #1 because there's a bit of controversy, a lot of discussion online on YouTube about this particular book right now. So I wanted to throw my 2 cents in a format that I think more people will actually watch. So, do I think the book is going to be great? Do I think it's going to suck balls? I'll give you 2 guesses, but hey, stick around and find out. All right, so now we're at the Eternals. And here's the first thing I notice about this damn thing. Look at this. I counted this up beforehand. 37 variant covers, plus the regular covers. So this thing has got 38 covers. It's a 32-page book for, $4. So that means that it's going to be what? Probably about 20 pages of story. So this piece of shit has actually got more covers than it does pages. So, and what pisses me off about that is this just feels like a total cash grab. And matter of fact, that's the same thing with this damn Wolverine book. Is it feels like a cash grab. It feels disingenuous as hell. To be $1 more. It's just Marvel saying, hey, here's a way we can bleed our dwindling base of aging fanboys, some way we can suck a little extra money out of them. And that's exactly what this feels like, all of these friggin' covers, because that some of these covers, I don't know yet exactly how many a store is going to have to buy to get each cover, but some of these are going to be 1 in 50 variants, 1 in 100 variants, 1 in 1,000 variants. And so there are people who will buy those variants, not even to read the damn book, but just to send it immediately to CGC, and they feel like they've got some investment, which is bullshit, because I work for a company that buys and sells comic books online. We list hundreds of books every single day, and whenever we get one of these CGC'd alternate covers, it never does what the guide predicts it's going to do, because let's be honest, even a 1 in 1,000 variant that's out there, however many of them, 100,000, however many of them there might be, they all exist. Every single one of them that was made exists in 9, 6, 9, 8, 10. And so there will never be as many people wanting that book at once as exist of that copy. If you put it on eBay, there aren't going to be enough people coming along who are going to want to compete over that book. So, the guide may say this alternate cover is worth 20, 30, $100. Don't you believe it, brother? Don't you believe it for a second? But the big thing that pisses me off is that the small shops are going to suffer from this, because these little junior investors, these get rich quick assholes who think they're going to buy a house with a comic book, a new comic book. What's going to happen is they won't go to their local store, because there are stores like the one that I shop at that are too small to get these variant covers. They're not going to buy, 1,000, 100, even 50 copies of this book in order to get a variant. So the person who wants that, they're not going to go to that store. They are going to go to the bigger store, or they're going to go online. More likely, they will go online to some giant retailer that can afford to buy however many hundreds or thousands of copies are needed to get a variant. And so if bullshit like this just hurts it just hurts the industry. It hurts the small stores, which is, again, the small stores, they're the base of the comic book marketplace. I mean, you can't exist on just a few giant size online retailers. You need these small shops. in order to survive. So, I mean, in the comic book industry, there's like maybe less than 2,000 comic book stores nationwide. That's the best estimate right now. And so there are many places in the country where you can't find a comic book. They just don't exist. You're not near enough to a comic book store, and to do anything that endangers that runs the risk, that says to shops, you either don't matter to us, and you're going to end up going out of business because you can't compete, or we're going to sock you and make you buy things that you can't afford, make you do stupid shit, overextend yourself, trying to get that 1 in 1,000 variant. So you end up with, 500, even if it's 20, 20 books that end up in the dollar bin. That can kill a small comic book store. So I look at this, and the first thing I think is, holy fuck, is this Marvel or is this Dynamite? And what I see here is I see a company that doesn't give two shits about the actual comic book store owners. So this just pisses me off. Again, more covers than you have pages. But that's not why I'm not buying this book. Here's why I'm not buying this book. Now, Kieran Gillen's an okay writer. Asad Ribic, and again, I hope I'm saying his name right, and I apologize if I'm not. He's a good artist. But here we've got 4 preview pages, and look at this. And you're like, oh, that art looks pretty good. Oh, I might buy that. Yeah, that looks good. But look at those 4 pages. So this is probably going to have about 20 pages of story. So this is 4 pages. It's 1/5 of the book. What actually happens here plot-wise, right? Icarus gets out of bed, goes down the hall, passes somebody in the hall, and goes to the front door. That's it. That's 4 pages. All that actually happens, Icarus gets out of bed, goes down the hall, and goes to the front door. That's all that fucking happens. That's the fucking entire plot of these 4 pages. Stan Lee used to have a rule, right? His rule was that by page 3, somebody has to punch somebody else. Well, okay, maybe that's apocryphal. Maybe he never actually said that. It's just something attributed to him, or maybe something he invented later. But it's one of those things that if it wasn't true, it should be, because what that rule says is basically shit has to happen. This is a comic book. Stuff has to actually friggin' happen. And you may say, well, yes, Duke, but you don't have the words here. There are going to be words, and well, all right, well, it's not going to be any omniscient narrative, right? Because narration of any kind is deemed passé. What it's going to be is probably some internal dialogue. It's going to be Icarus thinking to himself. So, he may be telling you how he feels or what the state of the world is right now. But again, it's going to be tell, not show. Nothing is actually happening. Again, all that happens, 1/5 of this book, if you buy it, and you want to buy it because you want to read the damn thing, not because you're trying to collect, and get rich off one of these alternate covers. But if you actually want to, read this thing and enjoy it as a reader, well, 1/5 of the book, here's what happens. Icarus gets out of bed, goes to the front door, and answers to the door. That's it. That's your story. Fuck that. This is basically, this again, I keep saying this, too many writers today, and forget the editors. Editors don't even edit. Editors are just glorified production managers whose job one is don't annoy the talent. But the writers, they think they're writing movie or television scripts, right? Because that's where they really want to be. Way back in the golden age, people were slumming in comics because they really wanted to be in the newspapers and comic strips. Well, today they're slumming in comics because what they really want to do is work in movies and television. But at least back in the day when they worked in comics, they did comics. They didn't produce comic books as if they were comic strips, because they understood it's a different medium with different rules, different sensibilities, different needs. But here, they're writing this like they're writing a movie script, where they are showing you beat for beat for beat for beat for beat every single second of a scene. That's too decompressed. Again, nothing happens. Icarus gets out of bed, goes down the hall, answers the front door. That's it. That's all that happens. You don't need to buy this book. Trust me on that. So that's my rant, God damn it. So let's go into the rest of this catalog. And like I said, it's full of suck.